Hi, my name's Matt. If you don't know me, I'm on Twitter as at @HobbitHoleBooks. I've kind of been lurking on BookTube, Book Twitter for the last few years. I'm really into fantasy mainly, and I've been wanting to do my own content for some time, but I, for various reasons, haven't got around to it. But I found this really awesome author called Ryan Cahill, and I think if you guys don't know him, you're gonna love him. And he's been flying up the Amazon charts since he released, I think it's only this year, he released his first book of Blood and Fire, which I'm 50% of the way through, and it is absolutely awesome. It's going to be my first video on BookTube, but I just wanted to get the word out there, excite some people. So I wanted to share a little bit from his novella, The Fall. I'll say this again at the end. You can get it from his website for free. You can download it if you sign up to his newsletter. Details will be in his website. I'll put it in the tweet as well. But I'm just going to read a little bit of an excerpt, just to give you guys a little bit of a taste of why it excites me so much. If you love that kind of classic fantasy with a modern twist, you're gonna love this. It's got dragons, it's got blood, magic, elves, dwarves, it's chaos, destruction, ancient lore. So without further ado, I'm going to be reading. Here we go. Part 1, The Archon. City of Ilnane, winter solstice, year 2682, after doom. Alvira stood at the large arched window, looking out over the central courtyard and onwards toward the sweeping walls of Ilnane. Curtains of rain fell from dark thunderclouds. The reddish-pink light of the blood moon washed over the city of white stone, painting it in an eerie blend of beautiful and unsettling. But it wasn't the blood moon that formed the knot in her stomach. She saw the torches in the distance, thousands of flickering flames, as if the plains themselves were on fire. She reached out to Vildura. Meet me at the council chamber. Alvira felt a rumble of acknowledgement in the back of her mind. She strode across the room, snatched her sword from her bed, and buckled it to her hip. Then she stepped out into the hallway that ran adjacent to her bedchambers. As Alvira emerged into the hallway, 2 elves charged at her, one in the shimmering red and gold uniform of the city guard, the other in the black robes of the Order's battle mages, their swords drawn, fury etched on their smooth faces. A touch of panic threatened her mind, but she pushed it aside. She had no time for it. Ripping her sword free from its scabbard, she dipped under the first strike, then deflected the second, the ringing sound of steel on steel reverberating in her ears as the swords collided. A roaring pain burned through her side as the second elf raked his sword across her ribs, slicing a deep gash. She cursed herself for the decision to leave her plate armor with her handmaid. Alvira reached out to the spark. She saw it in her mind, its pulsating strands of twisting light, interwoven together in the shape of a floating sphere. Each strand brimmed with the power of its element: earth, fire, air, water, and spirit. Alvira pulled at the strands of air, drawing threads of it into herself. She swung her blade to parry the incoming strike from the elf to her right, then pulled at her threads of air, using them to slam her second attacker into the white stone wall. She felt the resistance as the elf collided with the stone, and she heard the crunch as his bones gave way. Spinning on her heels, Alvira lunged at her remaining attacker, deflecting his haphazard attempts to block her. She held her sword outstretched against his exposed neck. "Who sent you?" Alvira roared, pushing her sword into his soft flesh. The elf didn't answer. He just stared at her. His eyes were sunken and dark, and his skin was so pale that Alvira would have thought him close to death, were he not standing before her. "Answer me!" The elf ignored her, and instead muttered something incoherent, resting his hand across his across his breastplate. As he did, a shimmering red glow emanated from beneath the steel plate. Blood magic. Elvira thrust her blade forward, plunging the tip into the elf's neck, attempting to stop him before he could tap into the power of the gemstone she knew hid beneath his armor. Blood cascaded from the wound as the elf hung there, held upright only by the strength of Elvira's arm. Stilling the knot in her gut, she pulled her blade free from the elf's neck and let him fall to the ground, spluttering and choking on his own blood. With a deafening howl, a blinding eruption of deep red fire consumed the elf. The force of the blast knocked Elvira off her feet and sent her crashing into the wall behind her. A sharp pain pierced through her back and head as she hit the stone. There you go, there's just a few pages there. We've already got elves, we've got magic, we've got two kinds of magic. The blood magic, the spark. We've got communication through the mind. We're just thrust into this epic battle that's going on through the eyes of the character Elvira. Let me tell you guys, this novella is epic. The book is even more epic. I flew through that novella in pretty much 2 sittings, so I highly recommend it. If you love classic fantasy, if you love Tolkien, if you love Sanderson, it's unique, but there's also, it feels familiar in a welcoming and a warming sense, and the real bonds of friendship emerges in the characters, and then mix that with the pacing, the action. It's so visual. It's I've heard it described as grim heart before, and I can see why. It is very gritty, but there is a lot of heart behind it, a lot of emotion. So thank you, Ryan, for writing such wonderful books. As soon as I finish the next half, I'm going to be putting my first review on YouTube. Exciting. And I've already pre-ordered his new book, the sequel, which comes out on December the 31st, for an absolutely amazing price on Amazon. Well worth checking it out. I think it's only 99p for the first one. And you get the novella for free, so check the novella out, see if you like the style. I highly, highly recommend this. Thank you for listening.